Good morning. We are live. This is Allie Brown. I'm here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm with Amanda Tress where are you in Florida?
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. That's right. Yeah. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
This is great. Yeah, we're here and We Lead, and what we're doing is talking with some of the most brilliant 7- and 8-figure plus women I know who have built really solid businesses. And it's a time to really look at what you're all doing out there and get some new ideas and not listen to perhaps everyone around you right now, but where you want to be. And that's why I want to bring you women like Amanda. And Amanda, I'll give you a brief introduction, but I'd love you to tell more of your story. And I'll just tell everyone that, I've been just so impressed with you from the moment I met you. You have just been an incredible rock star of an entrepreneur. It's like you just burst out of the womb ready to take on everything. You've built a multiple 8-figure company. There's even bigger goals in the future, which are exciting coming down the line. You've really tapped into also something that you found helped a lot of women and men and has transformed their lives. And it's just kind of all rolled out. It hasn't been a linear path all the time, but can you share a bit where you came from and how you kind of became Amanda Tress?
Absolutely. I started in the fitness industry specifically because I actually struggled with my own health and wellness issues. And many listening might have heard that I actually used to be on blood pressure medication. I had a metabolic disorder. I had blood sugar issues as well. And I decided to do my own research, take ownership of my health and wellness, and become a personal trainer in addition to a certified nutritionist. And so I have been in that industry, in the wellness industry now for, 15 years, which makes me sound old. But it was quite a process of going on an entrepreneurial journey when it came to the wellness industry. When I started in the industry as a trainer, the only path was the traditional path, and that was to trade dollars for hours in a gym. My background is also in digital marketing. And I actually decided to step down from my full-time digital marketing career exactly 7 years ago. I just had my 7-year anniversary, and it was a month before my son was born. I decided to step down before having him from my full-time job and then combine my expertise in digital marketing with my passion for wellness. And I launched what were called online virtual boot camps 7 years ago. It was a fairly new concept specifically for people in my area, which at the time was the Midwest. But I slowly built up the online virtual boot camps and kind of cracked the code on how to make the model scalable. And once I was able to make the model, scalable for myself, I decided that I wanted to share that with other women in fitness. And the reason I wanted to do that is because women in fitness traditionally make very little money. In fact, even now, the average yoga instructor earns $24,000 annually, which is absolutely unacceptable. You cannot thrive on $24,000.
You're living in your van, probably.
Right, literally, barely putting food on the table. And so I started a digital marketing agency only for women in wellness several years ago. And then what I realized about 4.5 years ago is that my agency clients who had the best of intentions were not fantastic with programming. And so I decided to create a program that would be extremely effective and then build a certification around it so that my agency clients could actually go through the certification and run my program with their clients. And so 4.5 years ago, the program that is now called Faster Way to Fat Loss was born. And we have grown quite quickly, specifically in the past 2 years. And it's been really, really exciting.
Yeah. The fitness industry has always been very interesting because that was part of my background as well, part-time, not full-time. But in some ways, the fitness industry has always been a bit behind, isn't it, with technology? I remember just still, you'd still order the videos delivered to your house. Like about 10 years ago, there was still a lot of DVDs floating around. They were a little hesitant to get into the digital. Do you think you were ahead of the curve with that?
That's a great question. I was a little ahead of the curve. I personally had some DVDs as well, but because my career background was digital marketing, I was very familiar with the use of Skype or even Zoom when Zoom came onto the scene.
Yeah.
I was kind of the first one to utilize Facebook to market my business, or Instagram. I was on Periscope right when that came out. So I've always tried to settle early with new medias, with new marketing strategies. And so again, I was one of the first when it came to virtual online boot camps, but then one of the first when it came to even the cutting edge strategies I incorporate into my program.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because that is what made you really stand out. And I want to give a shout out to when Amanda was my client, I started understanding everything she's doing. I'm like, well, let me give this a try. I lost close to 30 pounds, finally lost the baby weight. And actually still eat to this day a lot of those habits, the clean eating and the intermittent fasting. I still need to up the workouts. I got a little pandemic pooch. We'll work that off later when I can get back to the gym. But talk about your formula and what you put together. I think this is really insightful for everyone because, sometimes people think, oh, well, what I'm doing isn't new. You took some things people may have been familiar with, but put it together in a brand new way that really worked.
Yes. In the Faster Way, we combine several elements that make the program highly effective. And as you mentioned, many as a standalone strategy were popular 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But what I've done is I've combined intermittent fasting, which is simply an eating schedule, with carb cycling, where we track our macronutrients and vary our carbs. We also pair our food log for the day with an effective 30-minute workout, which incorporates either strength training or high intensity interval training. And we work on mindset, we focus on rest, gut health, many different things. My program is really a boot camp. It is not a super simple, easy button magic pill kind of formula. I educate my clients regarding the strategies that make the program highly effective, and then I keep them accountable to implementing on them. But I'm still the only company that is pairing a food log with a 30-minute workout, which is just beyond me because science backs up that particular strategy. And we've had over 150,000 clients now thrive through the Faster Way.
Yeah. Talk about the changes in your business over the last few years, and especially the last few months. This is a tough time for a lot of people in the fitness industry, especially, we got to give a shout out to all the gym owners whose businesses may have just been destroyed. If they come back at all, we don't even know what it's going to look like. It's just going to be a strange time. Talk about the industry and how you've adapted, if you've had to, or new opportunities, challenges for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, my industry has been hit quite hard. In fact, with the PPP loan that, people have been applying for here recently, I believe that the most common or the largest sector that applied for that particular loan is fitness.
Wow.
And I have many colleagues who are gym owners or studio owners, many people who are out of work and just heartbroken. So a couple things. First and foremost, keep in mind my background is digital marketing and digital media, so virtual boot camps. This is a good time to be running virtual boot camps, if I'm being completely honest. We do have a record number of clients in our membership right now. We have over 25,000 current clients, which is really fantastic. However, even with that in the back of your mind, I will say that my team has implemented what we call a shelter-in-place initiative. So if a particular client is out of work, is needing to cancel due to finances, I am like, listen, unacceptable. You're not leaving the program right now. I know you need at-home workouts. I know you need nutrition and accountability, plus the support that we provide through our community. So we are offering quite a few scholarships. So even though our numbers are up, our revenue wasn't necessarily tracking very well in April. And so we had to make some strategic moves. And I was very, very transparent with my team. And we met at the beginning of April. I said, listen, we're tracking low and slow. I said, a lot is going on right now in the marketplace and the economy. And we need to be creative. I said, so come at me with your ideas. I said, anything's, open for conversation. So my team came at me with, gosh, Allie, probably 25 different ideas for generating revenue.
Isn't that great?
Amazing.
They had to be innovative. They had to think differently.
Yeah, I shared with my leadership team this morning. I said, listen, we reached our April revenue goals, which was such a win. And I said, my favorite team meeting to date in the past, several years was the meeting that we had at the beginning of April, where the team just said, what if we do this? What if we offer this? How about this? And we implemented on many of those ideas, and we were able to reach those goals from a financial standpoint, but not only that, impact many people in a positive way. You mentioned gym owners. I shared that I have many colleagues in the fitness industry who have been suffering. We decided to offer scholarships for our certification in April. We're still offering scholarships on a rolling admission basis. We brought 200 new certified coaches to the table via these scholarships. It has been just a massive blessing for these individuals, a huge blessing for our company as well. We have a healthcare round that is 2,500 clients strong that we are running with Healthcare Heroes, where we offered a discount, the deepest discount we've ever offered in our history, actually. We're currently running a promotion for teachers, where we're offering a discount through Teacher Appreciation Week, which is this week. We're going to run a community-wide teacher round next week. And so, we've been creative. We've rolled out new initiatives. We have many new swag and merch items as well that we pumped out, in record speed for people who wanted to online shop. So, it was an exhausting month, but we had a successful month.
Well, the opportunity there, and for some of you watching and listening right now, you may be thinking, oh, this is interesting. Do you have actually a bigger audience now than you may have before? Some of you listening may be thinking, oh, wow, that's interesting, because you actually gained a bigger audience through this month or two, because everyone's forced to be home. They're looking for options. So all of you watching, think about, how is this actually can it benefit me, or starting a business, or getting certified in something like your program, Amanda? And those of you offering certifications, there are a lot of people looking to plug into a formula or system to grow their business right now. So it's a great time to offer that as well. It's really important. So that's great to hear. I really love hearing about the changes you decided to make and how you're still growing. What do you see as the future of the fitness industry, and especially kind of your segment of it? I actually hope a lot of these influencers will just fall off the map.
Yeah.
The ones that really don't offer anything. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
In fitness.
Oh, girl. Yes, I know. In regard to the future of the fitness industry, we saw many people come onto the scene with new virtual programs and online training, which I think is great. And I appreciate the fact that many different companies said, we're going to solve a problem and serve the marketplace in this way. We saw a lot of really bad programming and crappy production quality, which is to be expected. I think that many brick and mortar fitness companies or gyms are going to really need to continue considering ways to innovate. I did a video recently for fitness professionals and said, listen, if you haven't maintained multiple streams of revenue, now is the time. I've been telling fitness professionals to maintain multiple streams of revenue for 7 years. I'm like, if you haven't listened to me yet, you better listen to me now. Even I am continuing to consider other revenue streams and verticals that I can open up. I do not think that people are going to rush back into gyms the minute gyms open. I know in Florida, we've had even some more lax rules and regulations, but gyms are one of the types of businesses that hasn't opened. And I personally am not going to rush back into a gym. I'm going to kind of wait it out for a little bit. Also, many people have now developed a habit of working out at home, and it is more convenient. I'm a personal trainer.
It saves a lot of time. We were actually thinking, it's funny, we were thinking that ourselves, and we belong to a really luxe healthcare, health club, health club gym too. Right. And we're kind of like, oh, we have so much more time though in our morning now without the driving and the pack in your bag and all that. We'll see how long it lasts, how long we're motivated here, with all the hiking and weights. But I do think a lot of people, Brett and I were talking about this, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is working for now. Why don't I save that money and invest that elsewhere?
Yeah. And once someone develops a habit, they're going to stick with that. So what we've done over the past couple of months have empowered people to develop a habit of working out at home, of fitness at home. I think that, for me, I have 5 different initiatives on the docket. for the next 12 to 18 months. And one of them is actually considering some brick and mortar studios or showrooms, which is going the opposite direction of everyone else. But I'm like, with every other organization, gym, studio looking to go online, I'm kind of the OG virtual fitness, but maybe I'll kind of go the other way and have a hybrid model that incorporates some community centers. And so that's something that I've considered, specifically as many gyms are going under and they might be, available for sale. It's something that I'll be kind of considering and looking into as well.
Yeah. You've always been very much of a forward thinker. And, can you talk about how right now, in the pre-chat I was sharing with you, that I'm really witnessing not only is sadly this whole transition leading to greater income inequality, but there's a greater mindset inequality right now. And you see either people taking charge of this time, they may have needed some time to get their head around it, but taking charge and stepping into some opportunities and dealing with this well, or they're having a really hard time. And I don't care what kind of business you have, that mindset inequality can happen. You've always been very careful about your mindset, who you surround yourself with, always moving forward. Can you talk about how everyone watching can put more of that into play?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that is so vital, and you and I have spoken about quite a bit in the past, is surrounding yourself with people who maintain that proper mindset. And, you, Allie, have made such an impact on my life and my career. I think mindset is probably what you helped me with the most. I remember when I first started working with you, I did have a bit of a scarcity mindset. I was still, traveling coach and, thinking I'm scraping by and I remember I got to our first meeting together and I'm complaining about being in the back of the plane in the middle and can't get any work done. And you're like, okay, you need to switch your mindset. You have an extremely successful business. You're like,
you can fly direct. You'll be okay.
Yeah. You're like, maybe buy yourself a couple clothes to wear to my meetings. I'm like still buying, Forever 21 dresses at the time. So you really rubbed off on me in such a fantastic way, because I started taking myself more seriously and my business more seriously. And it's funny because I remember I asked my husband to switch my flight on the way back from the meeting with you to a first class ticket. It was my first ever first class flight. And I was so productive on that trip. I remember writing out my goals for the rest of the year, and I crushed those income goals. And a lot of it is just the space that I had to sit there in first class and write those. But, I've met so many people through our premier meetings and through your network who I'm in contact with even over the past several weeks as we are going through, a trying time. And I've been on the phone with Eleanor and done Zooms and different people just to say, okay, what's working for you? What can we do to be creative and to continue really crushing our goals and moving things forward? And so surrounding yourself with people who maintain the right perspective is key. And I agree, it's just so sad when we see fellow female entrepreneurs who are kind of playing the victim right now. And it is no doubt, I'm not downplaying the fact that we are going through a crisis situation, but at the same time, you have to remain optimistic. You have to continue to problem solve and consider ways to bring new verticals and opportunities to the table, because maybe this is the biggest blessing and it is our one and only opportunity this year to lean into our leadership in a significant way.
It is. And, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole right now, but I think everyone needs to realize too that this can and probably will happen again. What you're seeing go on now and how quickly everyone shifted into just living and working very differently right now. If you're waiting for things to go back exactly where they were, then they probably are not going to. And so, you have that one choice now. And I know some of you watching, there are some people that I feel like, they do need more time to process. But right now, it's probably that month. April was kind of like, all right, we're all going to do our part. We're going to deal with this. May, now we're like, all right, what's going on? What is this? And it's critical right now, if you're watching, to decide how you're going to approach your days, to turn off the news. Okay. You can skim the headlines once a day if you want to, but really you need to control who you're listening to and who you are surrounding yourself with. And Amanda, you've just been such a positive example for so many women on that. You start your day strong, you start your day with your goals, and you don't let anyone else get in your ear. You don't let anything else get in your ear unless it's absolutely important and related to what you're doing. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have a good way of blocking things out.
Yeah. And how have things been with the family home a lot more lately?
Yeah. Great question. I am extremely fortunate in that we have a guest house. So I'm actually at our guest house right now while the kiddos do school. Cole's teacher dropped off his cap and gown today. He is graduating from kindergarten this year. So, they are doing really well. They're finished with school very quickly. And so it makes me a little skeptical of how much they're actually learning.
We've noticed that too. They're like, we're done. I'm like, okay.
9:30. I'm like, okay, so are you learning anything at school? And Cole, my kindergartner, said to me, I don't learn anything at school, but I miss my friends. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we've been doing really well. Prior to the outbreak, I was traveling every single week. And I got pregnant, as you know, Allie, and I stopped traveling right around the time that I found that I was pregnant. And that has been a blessing for me. I'm counting my blessings. I'm grateful that I'm not traveling right now because I've been so exhausted. I was nauseous for 13 weeks. So we're really, trying to make the best of it and look on the bright side.
Yeah. We've still been adjusting here. And actually, the homeschools have been interesting because the great thing about this time is everything that's been disrupted, you start to question how it's been. Mm-hmm. And, our businesses have been disrupted. Our finances for many people have been disrupted, and education has been disrupted. So what's interesting to me too is that, for years, parents have said this is an outdated model. And then now suddenly they fix it within 2 weeks. We have suddenly online programs set up and virtual classrooms. My kids are Zooming with the little headsets. It's so funny to watch. It's so cute.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to look back on this time as a time that, it was inconvenient for many of us. I think some of us have to count our blessings. For many of us, it's been just an inconvenience, right? But we also had a lot of realizations, and really it gets you damn clear on what you stand for and what you want to create and what you're going to be willing and not willing to work with over the next year. So let me do a quick plug here that this episode and show is sponsored by The Trust. The Trust is the new 7- and 8-figure network for women entrepreneurs who want to find, it's a different conversation. They want to have a conversation that is a higher level. If you're enjoying these conversations I'm having with many of my current and past clients and members of the organization, you're going to really enjoy what we have. Amazing mentors coming in, amazing programming. We've shifted many of it to being virtual now. We have members all over the world. So I've been disrupted a bit as well. We have the whole plan laid out at the beginning of the year. I love live events. I love nothing more, actually. But we're making the shifts, and actually some of them have been more beneficial than we even realized. So we're gaining so many new people that are interested, able to participate. So have a look. It's jointhetrust.org. Fill out the form if you qualify, if you're over $1 million a year, and my team would be happy to talk with you to see if it's a fit for you. It is incredibly important right now who you surround yourself with and how you think is going to implement the next year or two of your business for sure. Amanda, tell everyone how they can find out more about you and what you're offering right now.
Thank you for asking. You can follow me on social media at Amanda Tress or at Fast Way to Fat Loss. We have a website, fastwaytofatloss.com, where you can find all of the information about the program. And I have a book called Fast Way to Fat Loss on Amazon as well.
Yeah. And is donut still your favorite treat on leg day?
That's the donut? And so for the first 13 weeks of my pregnancy, I couldn't even look at sweets. Now I'm finally able to eat sweets again. Yeah, it's coffee, sweets. It's all the things that gave me pleasure in the morning. So I lost all of those things, but I had a donut this past weekend and it was delicious. So thank you.
Yeah. And I can't believe, I just have to comment how big Lily is now, because she barely had hair for so long. Now she's got a full head of hair. She looks huge. And it's now you're going to have baby number 4 is coming up. And how are you guys getting your head around that?
It was a big shocker. We were not planning to get pregnant with baby number 4, but here we are. It just keeps happening to me. I'm like, how does this keep happening? I do know. Now
What they told me was true.
I've heard that people with 2 kids or 4 kids are the most sane because you're either man on man or you've just given up altogether. So I think I'm kind of doing that, screw it all. Here we are, running a successful business, and raising 4 kids will certainly be a challenge, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, well, you're a great role model for that, hun. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. You got to check out Amanda's stuff. Her stuff's fantastic. Use this time to take control of your health and your finances and your business. And thank you for joining us on the We Lead show today. Take care.